Hey, what's going on, guys? Buffalo Gamer 77 here, and today's video I just wanted to share with you guys some stories as a kid growing up on some video game systems I played with. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the Atari. Now, as a kid, I had an Atari. I think it was like the 400 or 800. It was like a computer. It had a keyboard. It had a tape drive where you have the games on cassette tapes that would load. Back then, loading those tapes would take forever, it seemed like, and I could tell it was going to misload when I would hear a certain sound on the TV, because I think a blue screen came up in the screen and it would load, and then if it made this like a loud sound, I knew I had to hit stop, rewind the tape, and try it over again. So back then, games or like loading was like, to me it seemed like a half hour to load a game. I'm not sure how long it actually took, but it seemed like it took forever. I did pick out some games here. Now the games I have are for the Atari 2600 or the 7800. I have both of those systems. I don't have the Atari 800 or 400 when I had as a kid, but I did acquire an Atari a few years ago and some games. And so let's talk about the games. The games are pretty similar from the 800 to the 2600, I found. The first game, this is number 2, but I had the first one. This is Pole Position. Pole Position is a car racing game. The graphics were okay. You know, it seemed like back then it was real cool. You had a car and you pushed up on the joystick. I have a joystick here, and you would push up the joystick and you would steer this way. I don't think the buttons back then did anything, but I remember using the joystick a lot and changing lanes, and it was fun. You know, fun for back then. I don't know now if it'll be any good at all, but check it out if you were interested in Atari games. Next game is called Breakout. I played this game for for many hours as a kid, and to play this game you needed special paddles, and here they are right here. Here's the paddles for it, and you would move the cursor like right here by using this. So basically on Breakout, my goal was to get the ball when it goes back and you had down here in the bottom, you have your cursor where you move your paddle back and forth, and you have a ball go on the screen, and the object is to get rid of all the blocks up top. So my goal was to chip away at blocks on the outside and try to get the ball up top so it stay up there and get trapped up there and hit all the blocks. So I would play that game for hours and hours. Also, the newer Breakout games have different types of you have more than one ball on there. There's a lot of different things they added on to it, but this is the original Breakout. Well, this one is for the Atari 2600, but it's pretty similar to the one I played. And these pedals, I'm not sure what they cost now, but I got them a few years ago. I think they're maybe like $14 or so. I'm not too sure, actually. Next game is River Raid. This game is by Activision. Basically, you're an airplane. It's probably my first shooter game, actually, I ever played. You're an airplane and you're flying over like the water, and in the water there's like boats going by and things you gotta shoot at. And I would play this game for so many hours. And my brother back then, he took a picture of the screen of his high score, sent it to Activision, and they mailed him a patch in the mail. I don't think we have it anymore, but it was pretty cool. You know, took a picture with it to the camera, got it developed, mailed it to Activision, and he had a high score in this game. I don't know what his score was, but that was so many years ago. River Raid, though, that's definitely a classic. If you interested in getting an Atari, I think this is a must-have in your collection. Next one also is a classic game, Frogger. Frogger. If you've never heard of Frogger, basically you have a frog and you have to control this frog by going through like traffic. You have cars going by, trucks going by, and you have to avoid the trucks. And then after you avoid the trucks, there's a water part. You have to go onto logs and like mud paths and to avoid the water, and then get to the other side and make sure your frog goes across safely. And as you go into the game here, the faster the cars go by and the logs go by for you to go through safely. So it's a pretty interesting game. It's pretty cool back then. This game, it says I paid $4.99 for it, but I don't think I paid $4.99 for it. Maybe they had a sale back then when I bought this game. I don't really remember. Next game is famous game for me for Atari. That is Pitfall. Now, Pitfall came out on many different platforms after the Atari, but the Atari for me was the original. And to me, it seemed very repetitive. You have 20 minutes to beat the game, and a lot of times you just get lost going back and forth between the screens. But there's actually a pattern you have to do to get through the game and get all the treasures. I believe there's like 32 hidden treasures that you have to find throughout the game to beat it in 20 minutes. I don't know. It was cool. There's also Pitfall 2 I played. That game to me was better than Pitfall 1. So I don't have Pitfall 2. It was a little bit more expensive than I wanted to buy it for. This game was $2.99, and I think Pitfall 2 was probably over $10, I think, maybe. I don't remember. Let's see. Next game, the last game I pulled out here is a game called Atlantis. Now, Atlantis, this game was really cheap. I got it for 99 cents, as you can see the back sticker here. So in Atlantis, it's set up that you have guns, not guns, like, yeah, I guess you could say it's a gun, like a turret on both sides of the map. And then in the middle, you have also a gun you shoot up straight, and then the sides you shoot diagonal this way, diagonal that way. The airplanes go by, and you gotta shoot the airplanes before they get too low. And when they get low, they attack your area. So down here is where you shoot. Up here, the planes go by, and then eventually, if you don't shoot them all, they go down lower and lower, and they kill off your guns and your whole city, I guess you could say. The game was fun. I played a lot of it also as a kid. All five of these games I played many hours. Tape game I remember playing a lot was a game called Seamus. If you ever and on YouTube, check out some gameplay for it. I haven't seen gameplay for it in a long time, but I remember playing that game a lot, and waiting for it to load would take forever. Well, I just want to share with you guys some stories I had as a kid growing up, of the Atari I had, and all the joysticks. This is not my original joystick as a kid, but I remember these joysticks would short right here. When they're plugged into the console, as you sit back far, every now and then we get tugged. This get tugged, and the wire would short, and my dad had to take it apart and try to fix it for me, or tape it up so it would work. We went through so many joysticks back then, and the paddles too. Sometimes they would break. This would come off. I don't remember being like a very destructive kid, but sometimes you get mad about the game, and you like take a controller and like not throw it, but like toss it over there. But I don't know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my stories as a kid playing the Atari. If you have any questions or comments below, please do so. I do comment back quickly. Thanks for watching my video. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a good night.